I returned to my ancestral village in Kerala. My grandmother warned me never to touch the clay pot in our prayer room. I hadn't been home in 13 years. Not since Appa, Dad, died under the jackfruit tree. Not since Amma stopped speaking and started staring blankly at things I couldn't see. Last week, I got a letter. No return address, just one line scribbled in shaky blue ink. Ammumma, Grandma, is calling. Come before it's too late. It smelled like smoke and turmeric, like the inside of our kitchen during monsoon power cuts. That smell hit me harder than the words did. Something old was waiting for me back in Kottamala. Something I tried to forget. The house, the pot, and the story that was never meant to be remembered. Before the gods had names, the forests had laws. Not written, not spoken, just known in the bones of people who dared to hunt without asking or plant without offering. Back then, spirits were part of life. They whispered in the wind, hid in the rain, and sometimes, if you were desperate enough, they showed up. Chaatan wasn't a god. He wasn't even a demon. He was something else. A bargain made flesh. The old folks say a long time ago, a village priest, desperate to save his wife, led a rooster into a fire under a jackfruit tree. He didn't know the full chant, just enough to make something listen. The ground cracked, the fire hissed, and something stepped out. Not tall, not loud, child-sized, skin like burnt coconut shell, eyes like ghee just before it smokes. It wore silver anklets that didn't make a sound, and it smiled. Tell me what you want, and I'll tell you what it costs later. The priest got what he wanted. His wife lived, his fields bloomed. Even the river changed course to touch his land. But on the 7th harvest, Chaatan came back. The priest said no. The next morning, he was gone. Only a pair of burnt footprints on the stone floor of his house. They buried the clay pot he used to call Chaatan, sealed with turmeric, red thread, and a prayer no one says out loud anymore, under the roots of the same jackfruit tree. But sometimes, the pot calls out again to someone greedy or grieving, or both. In Kottamala, grandmothers tell this story to their grandchildren. Only one ever truly listened. Me. My name is Aditya, and after 13 years, I've come home. The clay pot is still there, still sealed, still warm. The train screeched into Palakkad Junction just after sunset. Hot wind slapped against my face as I stepped out, clutching the letter tighter than I meant to. I didn't know if I was coming home or walking into a memory that still hadn't finished with me. The auto driver didn't ask questions when I gave him the name of our family home, but he did glance at me once, like someone checking if a person knows what they're doing. "That house still stands?" he asked quietly. "You know what they say about the tree?" I didn't answer, just nodded. My bag sat heavy on my lap, packed with only one set of clothes, my old notebook, and Amma's rosary beads. The road twisted up into the hills. Trees leaned over the mud road like they were eavesdropping. The jackfruit tree came into view first, tall, wide, and wrong, somehow. Then the house. Our Tharavadu ancestral home looked the same, and not. Like it remembered me, but didn't forgive. The tiles were cracked. Moss covered the sides. Vines had crept into the veranda, curling around pillars like old fingers. I pushed open the gate. The sound it made was too loud for the silence around me. The door was already open. Inside smelled of dust, dried flowers, and something sour. But it was familiar. The prayer room was untouched. Goddess Bhagavati's mural faded, but watching. The stone grinder still had that little blood print I made when I was 5. But the air felt like someone was holding their breath. "You came." Her voice floated from the hallway. "Ammumma." She looked older, thinner. Her mundu hung loose over her frame. Her hair was dyed black, but her eyes, those gray eyes, still saw too much. She didn't hug me, just nodded, turned, and walked in. "You'll sleep in the prayer room. The other rooms remember things." That night, I couldn't sleep. At 2:33 a.m., I heard it. Tap. Tap tap. From the corner. The pot, sealed, dusty, but cracked now. A tiny split right across the lid. I knelt before it. I didn't know why. Maybe I always knew I'd come back to this. I placed my hand on it. It was warm. Too warm. Then, not aloud, not even in the air, but somewhere behind my eyes, I heard it. "Welcome home, Adi. What would you trade to bring back what you lost?" I didn't answer, but my fingers tightened on the lid. Outside, the jackfruit tree swayed. There was no wind,